And let's go ahead and jump in and make this happen. Share my screen. All right. Is that good? Everybody can see?
So what you guys are going to see is I'm actually lucky enough to stumble across a couple of clips of what we call being in a 5-man rotation and a 4-man rotation. So in a 5-man rotation, which essentially means you're matching feet on the outside, you're susceptible to the crease being wide open, versus a 4-man rotation where you kind of lock the inside and then you rotate around the outside. So, here we're playing the whip snakes, and the one thing, I don't know if it was, the same for Coach Rose when he was playing, all goalies in the PLL hate the 2-bomb or hate twos. Not only, I think it's part mental, part momentum, part harder to track because guys can just shoot the ball so well. So we tend to extend a little bit more, and it looks like that middle guy's open, but we know that guy's got to catch the ball and then almost kind of turn around. So we get lucky here, and we miss him, and he actually should have scored. But we know that,
Who missed him?
So go back. So right now this should be no. This should be our top down guy. Don't even. Okay. There you go. My mistakes in the last clip, so don't even start with that. So
all right, continue.
So right now the way that we play this is, so the ball's over here on this wing, this lefty wing. Our top down guy should be cutting down here and covering this guy, and then this backside guy. Could you circle him, Greg? It's Curtis on the backside, not me. The top guy, top right.
Oh, yep.
This guy would be splitting the 2 guys up top. So we get lucky here, and we don't get that rotation, and they throw it inside, and then it's for an easy one.
So you have your LSM on a string?
Yeah, the LSM's on the string. We try to hold down low on the pipes.
Stefan, why don't you explain to everybody what a string is?
Yeah.
So a string is, again, that player is, as the ball rotates up, you see him, right? Number 11, you can see how he's starting to sink in, right, to help in on the crease. When the ball goes up top, that's when he steps up to play the ball. Again, like Coach Neek said, matching feet up top. You see he hesitates, right? I would, again, like you said, as soon as that ball is moved, especially off of a skip, he needs to collapse down and get back onto that crease. Because the most, we'd rather have to make teams skip over the top to the furthest man away where it's an easier shot for the goalie to make that save, and it's not quite as dangerous.
The only thing I want to add here, guys, is I want you to watch this defenseman up top, McManaman. He's running that string like Coach Schroeder was just talking about. And obviously in their defense, they've scouted where they want to put pressure on hands. And as he thinks this poke here, okay, I want you to watch. This is great footwork and great job, okay, of helping cover up. So does everybody see this passing lane here? Rambo's over here, this left number 9. And right now he's got a nice passing lane when he catches this, okay, across the top to that player on the top right. But what you're going to see is McManaman here, he opens with his stick and then his foot and his feet. And when you're in a man-down scenario, whenever the ball moves, you should always open. You should do this anyways, but it's even more critical when you're man down. Open your hips and get that stick in the passing lane, right? Stick up. You guys see that? Stick is up, and he drops steps and gets into that passing lane. Coach Steve, you ready to go to the next one, or you want to keep going?
Well, no, you can roll through because we actually correct our own mistake in this clip, which is kind of nice. So they get the shot. So once again, right, that top guy should be crashing down. He doesn't get the shot. So now obviously, we're all kind of, all right, we need to cover up the inside a little bit more, and not necessarily worry about the shooters because that was too easy. So they kind of, offensive players are really, really dumb, and they usually just try and go back to something right away. So, right, once again, they know as we get the inside feed, but now you can see that we're all a little bit tighter and we're cheating in a little bit more. And then once again, right, this guy's got to catch the ball with pressure, and then ends up bobbling it. And, part of the scout was we knew that the guy on the crease was not really like an inside finisher, and it's very difficult for an offensive player to catch the ball from the top point, turn around, find the goal, knowing he's going to get killed. Obviously it's not the ideal situation, but we know that most guys don't like being in that situation, and we know that we can kind of get there and get a check. Our goal is just kind of stay big and hope they get hit, but this kind of works into our favor. We're a little bit off. We get a deflection. You can see 2 guys getting ready to just hack that guy in half. And then we're able to kind of correct our mistake and not get the inside finish.
Hey, great ground ball there from Coach Alexander, guys.
It's a great clear, by the way. I wish this kept going. It was a great clear. You know, I think
we'll let you leg it out.
Let me leg it out a little bit. You know, got guys chasing me, protecting the stick.
Oh, weight room, son. Weight room, son.
Running through people. You know, no big deal.
I love that.
All right, next one. So once again, right, we're in a 5-man, and you know we've got some big time shooters on the outside. You know, up top over there we got Kyle Harris. You can bring from the outside. You know, Joel Walters is a crafty guy, not a big shot. So you know we're okay with. Whoa,
sorry,
you're good. So don't get me wrong, guys. Like we're aware that the inside is prone, but you know, like I said, in our game, the 2-point arc being at 15 yards, it's a huge momentum swing, and it's really tough if you start giving those up. So those guys do look open, but you know, teams know that we can kind of get there kind of quickly, so to speak. So we're letting them work around. Once again, we're in a 5-man. Means that the backside guy is helping in on the crease.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Coach Neek, for a 5-man. And Coach Neek hit on it earlier, but I think it's really easy to see in this clip here as they're just passing the ball around the perimeter. Okay, the farthest player, defensive player, so the farthest player on the Archers is responsible for covering the inside. So you'll see as this ball goes around the outside, okay, you got right now you have Ratliff, number 2, who's in charge of covering the inside. And as this ball transfers from one side of the cage to the other at X, Ratliff is now going to lose that responsibility and come out, okay? And we're going to drop one of these other caddy corners so the farthest guy from the ball has that responsibility. You're going to see the exchange here where he comes down, and now McMahon is covering the crease. He's got that inside responsibility because he's the farthest from where the actual ball is. Does everybody understand that concept? Yes, Coach.
Yeah, we get it.
Yep.
So they roll off the crease here and throw back, which puts us into a rotate situation. So as you can see, it causes the pipe guy to come up. I've got to rotate over to the other pipe, and now we're all in different spots, right? They kind of rotate in the same formation, and then we get the nice collapse right there by McMahon. And our goalie does a great job. He's really active and does a great job, I think, of running this out and actually getting us to turnover. So you just go back a little bit.
I want to make a point right here, Coach Neek.
Yeah.
You played this great. All right. So in lacrosse, and especially you guys who play box lacrosse, you understand this. For a goalie, okay, the pass that is the hardest to defend is the diagonal skip pass to that back pipe, okay? And you're going to see what we have. Coach Alexander, his responsibility is going to be to come over, okay, and get this shooter here on the right. As they rotate, they're all going to pull each other. So who's this? Jackson Place is coming up. Coach Alexander is going to come across.
Curtis.
Corley's going to come down. Okay, and McMahon's going to get in this play as well. Now, what you see Coach Alexander do here, guys, he doesn't just come flying over because that would leave this skip pass over. He pauses for one little extra millisecond, allowing this defender to get down and making sure this skip pass is covered here first before he fully commits across the cage. So watch this here, guys. Watch Coach Alexander make this really smart, just slow play. See how he waits? And now he comes over. Everybody's matched up, and they're good to go.
Very similar to kind of a fast break situation where you don't want to slide all the way across and leave that skip pass from the point man.
And part of the reason why I can be so slow, guys, is I know that if you go back to that, Coach Greg, I know that if that pass goes to that low attackman, he's got to come up field in order to have a better angle, right? So from this, if he catches it here and shoots it, and I'm in this spot, like our goalie's probably going to save that, or he's going to miss or have a really tough shot. I know he's got to catch that and drive upfield. So I know that as the ball is in the air, I can meet him at a certain spot to where even if he did get it, I would be in a position to either be in the shooting lane or throw a check and prevent him from being able to get a shot on cage.
Coach Schroeder, you want to comment on this?
I was just going to say, any goalies in there, right?
Love
Great
that.
hustle right here of hustling to chase that shot out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Especially in moments where you see where you have got where again we can use that peripheral vision. You see those guys on the post trying to cheat and sneak up. Anytime you have an opportunity to chase that ball out, right? They give you time to get back in the cage. So I would utilize that as much as possible.
And that's the foul. That was called.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, yeah, you've done worse. What do you mean?
That's also true.
So once again, right there, the one thing I want you guys to understand is at every level, in man-up situations, teams get extremely robotic because no player on the man-up wants to be the guy to screw up the coach's play. So it's kind of weird. We have, the best players in the world running plays all the way through, and it almost seems as though they're missing guys who are wide open, and that's just the way it's going to be. And that's kind of – you can somewhat use that to your advantage, especially if you're at the middle school or high school level. You guys are at practices and know your coaches have plays that they want run, and guys are being told what to do. So, if you see us kind of in the beginning of possessions really relaxed, it's because everybody is robotic and nobody wants to screw up something. And I know it's kind of one of those unseen things as you get older, but it's definitely something to realize that teams are extremely robotic in what they do at every level. So here they are, they're running the same play pretty much.
Yeah, this is a wheel off the crease again.
Yeah.
Braden, what kind of defense is the man down in? What rotation?
It's an adjacent.
No, look at Coach Alexander. What have we been talking about?
Can you see
Five
us?
what?
I don't think you can see us. 4-man or 5-man?
Oh, 5-man.
Okay,
Why?
5-man. And how do we know this?
Because there's 5 players on the field.
No, okay, because the crease, when the 5-man, the farthest guy has responsibility. Okay? So in the 4-man, if we have 4 in a box and 1, this crease guy would be covered right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have one of those, Greg. So you can run this one through.
Yeah, we'll get that one next.
Yeah. So they roll off. Once again, we kind of rotate. Now they're still in their same formation. We're just in different spots. And the one thing I want you guys to do is we're also reading body language. So we're also looking. You can see we're not flying out to some guys because they don't even look like they're looking at the cage or trying to shoot the ball. And that's one thing that can help you on the man down situation is reading body language, right? Recognizing who's a feeder, who's a shooter, who's just, one of those moving on guys and happens to be out there during that time. And that'll also prevent you from being out of position sometimes too, and actually making sure your attention is to the right guys.
Coach, I want to hit one thing here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So in this formation, you'll see Jules Henningberg right here, number 7, the offensive player for the Redwoods, has the ball. Corley right here has this responsibility, but he doesn't want to commit behind the cage and play this ball behind because you're down a man. So if you commit here and play this ball here, in order for him to recover, he's going to actually make his next slide and his recoveries longer. So you want to hold and try and hold your position as much as possible and not commit when you're in a man-down scenario. And you're going to see Corley do just that as we play this clip out. See how he holds, okay, and doesn't even need to move.
Yep. Space favors the offense. Time favors the defense, right? Make them take as much time as possible. Don't make those slides and those rotations longer for yourselves.
So once again, we get caught with the 2 guys not coming down and helping from the top side, but it's just I don't know. Like, were you a guy that preferred that inside shot versus the outside, or every goalie I've played for has always preferred they'd rather have guys try and turn around and find the cage than have the step down 2s or a step down outside shots.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like those mid-range shots better, for sure.
Yeah, mid-range shots better. Gotcha. Goalies are weird.
That, and even on some of the outside shots, again, any goalies that are on here, it's easy to kind of get lulled to sleep yourself, not necessarily expecting those shots or just kind of being relaxed and thinking they're so far away that I can rely on my hands rather than making sure that you're attacking that shot still with your body from those outside ones.
Gotcha. So now we're in a 4-man.
Hang on, Nick. Hang on. Bass Bros, what are we in?
Just give you the answer. Come on.
Are we in a 5-man or a 4-man?
4-man.
Is that because you heard Coach Alexander say that?
Ask him why. Why?
Why, boys?
Because there's that one guy in the middle that they're all rotating around.
Hey.
There we go.
Who is that one man in this video?
It's me.
Who won that game?
Alexander.
We didn't win that game.
Oh,
you didn't?
No,
Okay.
we didn't. We didn't win.
You didn't win? Okay.
No, we didn't win.
I think somebody
I'm on
knew
here.
We went 0-2. Who's
I'm on
chirping?
here.
Who's chirping on here? Who's about to get a house visit? Get beat up during quarantine?
Kari, my dad made me get on.
Oh my God!
I just muted him. Don't
yeah,
worry.
mute him. Mute
I just
him.
There we go.
Mute him.
All right, here we go, guys. We're gonna
I
play
can
this
unmute
through.
myself.
So once again, right, I talked a lot about scouting and things like that. The Chaos team has, guys with some better hands and some Canadian guys who can finish in tight. So that's why we're more worried about the inside than the outside shot. Obviously looking at personnel and things like that. So, oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, guys.
So if you're a short stick on here, right, what I'm communicating to my team right now is that there's only one guy on the crease, which means they can focus on the guys on the perimeter. So that means they don't have to worry about helping in, and they can just worry about the 4-on-5 on the outside, because any cutters that come through, I'm going to pick those guys up. So
Which is why they won the game.
So I'm keeping my guys with my head on a swivel, right? And then I see a cutter, so I'm trying to play 2. I get a little bit of help from the backside, and then they try and skip it through, and our guy does a great job of forcing that far pass and getting a stick in the lane, so that way the guys miss it.
Good stuff, Coach.
Yeah. I think this is another one. So we're in a 4-man as well on this one. Just give away the answers. Can't help myself.
Yeah, you're a good teacher.
Yeah.
Not really. I had him as a hell teacher. I wasn't that good.
How do I permanently mute Kari?
Just kick him out. I think you can kick him out.
I'm about to. Keeps messing me up. All right, here we go. Gosh dang it. My bad, boys. First time driver here, technology.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to slow it down because I feel like it looks better when you do this playback speed.
Oh, is this something new you found out?
Yep. Obviously, I didn't find out how to do it.
Why do you trying to enlarge the screen or what?
There we go. I got it. We're good.
All right. We're good.
Is that Brody? What a beast.
Quit kissing up to your coach.
I'm telling him when I see him. I'm telling him to make Carter run more.
He's not my coach anymore.
So now we're in a 5-man here. Guys, I'll see that. But we do finally actually get the help down. So, Greg, we'll play this one back because this is, I don't know what you call it, but this is like a anchor situation where the guy goes with the crease guy and then falls out the.
Yeah, so you guys don't. It seems like you don't have a string guy at this situation. You guys are rotating more.
We're rotating around it. So
yeah.
Ooh, that was
go
just
back.
a good pass. Yeah.
That was a good pass. So this is a little bit high level stuff here, kind of, guys, and most of you probably won't get to this until you get to either high school or even at the next level. Some places will do this. So what you'll see is when we get there. So right now, if you pause it, pause it, Greg. So our string guy, right? We know going into this game, right? Miles Thompson's a really good inside finisher. And we know that Connor Fields, who's, 20 yards from the cage, is not a really big outside shooter. So right now you see, over at the top center, right next to that. Yeah. So right now you see that we're giving him a ton of space because even if he were to catch that and step in and crow hop, that's just really not his game. So you could see our guy in the middle here, McMahon, number 11, right? He's down on this crease guy. So we're still in a 5-man. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to watch what we do around him and then where he ends up. So he gets sucked all the way down to the crease instead of trying to fly all the way back up, right? Freeze it, right? What he's going to do is we're going to rotate. So the guy that was on that wing is going to go to the top center. I'm on that back pipe, and I'm going to go up to the wing, and he's going to fall off to the bottom pipe. And it's just the 3 guys who are involved on the backside here. And what our call for that,
triangle rotation right there.
Yeah, exactly. And our call for that is anchor, just because you're kind of getting, weighed down, and then you would fall out to one of those pipes. So it actually happens, I think, once or twice, but then we get kind of burned on it.
Nick, I don't want to geek out, but I really like that.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. It works really well if you want to stay in a 5-man. So once again, here it happens again, right? You see we're really sloughed in. We're leaving that guy in the top wide open because he's the farthest guy from the ball. They move it around again. Right?
Yeah.
I'm coming out to the ball. So little backstory. Obviously, we're down by 3. I'm probably a little bit higher than I want to be, but Deemer had stuck a shot from that earlier in the game, so we obviously got to respect him. And then freeze it here, right? If you look at the back pipe, this skip lane here between McMahon and I is kind of what we're trying to cover up. So once again, I'm a little slow getting in here. I guess this is the mistake I was talking about, Greg, that you could probably get me on. But considering the fact that Deemer had hit that same shot earlier and he can shoot from outside, right? And I don't want to just give up that one adjacent pass, right? McMahon is trying to fly over here, and he's splitting 2 on the pipe. And that's just kind of where you can get burned. And obviously, when you have high-caliber players who can make feeds, right, this is obviously a feed that gets through, our sticks for an easy dunk on the backside here.
All right, Coach Neek, I'm going to pick on you here.
That's fine.
It's not – so the biggest thing that I would say – is if you watch Coach Alexander here, so we want to watch his play. He does a great job.
I have a hole in my stick, by the way. I don't have mesh in my stick, so I think it went through my stick.
Did it? Well, this is what I was going to say, guys. When you watch Coach Neek, and this is something that I would tell him to work on in the offseason here, is when he drop steps in this scenario, fellas, watch where his stick stays. His stick stays on his hip. He wants it up in a 45 off of his shoulder so that he makes himself bigger and deters this pass. So as you see here, right here, his stick is still down at his hip. We want that stick up in a 45 and out extended so that he's taking up as much space as possible. Now, this pass right here is next level, guys. There's not a lot of guys that can throw a 20-yard skip pass with just, what is that, like a 3, 4, or 5-yard window?
Yeah. I mean, between, McMahon's stick down there and mine, I mean, there couldn't have been much space for him.
Yeah, there's not a lot of high school guys that are going to throw this pass, okay, if any, that are going to be able to complete it. But Coach Alexander's obviously at the top level, so in order for him to deter this, in my opinion, I would love to have his feet a little bit lower, a little bit wider, and his stick up in that passing lane to try and deter this skip pass, which is an unbelievable look.
Then it also looks like you guys went – the anchor that you guys were talking about, it almost looks like you guys get pulled into a 4-man because Miles Thompson does a really good job of kind of screening Ratliff there on the inside.
He's for sure holding his stick.
Yeah, he's definitely moving on that side. But
Yeah.
Well, one, they did a great job when when Thompson came down and Ratliff fouled him, and they reversed the ball to try to screwed up your rotation a little bit, and that kind of messed up that anchor. So that was one thing that I noticed off of that again, defensively making sure you guys are communicating through things like that. When the ball rotation reverses, making sure that you're ready to kind of flip your rotation on that and how you react.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, last clip here, Coach Alexander.
What are we in? Who are you picking on? We picking on somebody?
Let's go with, let me see who's on here. Where's Matt Mihalik? Is he still on?
Quit. He got scared. Couldn't handle it.
No, Matt's on. I saw Matt. Is Matt on here? No. All right, I just saw Colin Singleton. Singleton, you on here? There he is. I see. He can't hide. I see him with that hair. Colin, are you on? Yeah, Colin Singleton. Unmute yourself. All right, who else? Who else am I going
Connor
to?
Smith.
You want Connor, the midfielder?
Yep.
All right, Connor, you on here?
Yeah.
All right, good. There we go. Okay, Connor, are we in a 5-man or a 4-man rotation here?
A 4-man.
Yes, and how do we know?
Because there's a guy on crease that's covering the truth man.
Boom. Got it.
Who is the guy on the crease?
Oh, my God.
Coach Dominque.
Is he your favorite coach?
One of them.
Oh, good answer. That's a good answer. I was waiting to see if he folded under pressure. That's a good answer.
All right, just because Coach Schroeder's on here. All right, here we go, guys.
That's like the cares place.
Play this out.
So, once again, right, you'll see some stuff based off scouting, based off of personnel. Just freeze it for a second here. So, just so you guys can paint a picture, right, they've got Ryan Brown, Paul Rabel, and Connor Busick in the top 3 spots, right? All guys very capable of shooting the ball really, really hard and scoring from 2-point land. So obviously we know that we've got to respect that. We got Eric Lott at X, who's a really crafty X guy. And then Kieran McCardle, Pretty slick attackman. And then is it Kluche? I think everyone's been saying his wrong name, but Kluche over here, Canadian guy over here on this left wing. So obviously being aware of what's going on. So freeze it. So once again, scouting, one thing that I like to do off of this roll off is lock this guy or at least deny him and make them go through kind of what a different option just to throw off their timing. Because once again, right, no matter what level, all teams have some sort of play or set they're trying to get into. So once I see that
how do you play, Coach?
Once I see how that guy doesn't get it, now obviously I'm just busting my butt, getting back into the rotation.
All right, so this looks like a screen here, guys. Super important that you're communicating on defense, getting through. You cannot be on the inside of the screen. You got to fight and get around it, which they do a good job of, and get a piece of that shooter there. He's able to deter that shot from music.
Yeah, just adding off of that, when guys come in to set a pick or a screen on you like that, don't be lazy and just stand and allow them to screen you, right? You got to be aggressive to get your body free and stay in position and ready to be able to move around him.
Some of that's awareness, too. On some of those screens, guys just kind of creep in and don't do anything. If a guy's standing next to you, he's probably trying to screen you. So obviously making sure that you're not, getting lulled to sleep or, getting caught off guard, too, is really helpful.
Man, Brown's got such a smooth stick, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Great play. Oh, Rabil.
Pick six.
To go back to the beginning of that one, Greg, just before we finish up here. So obviously you can go to. So we obviously went over the part where I'm locking off, and I want you guys to watch what happens kind of on the backside here for that, that screen. That lefty wing is going to come in and try and screen somebody. So just watch guys pointing and trying to communicate as well as possible. Kind of everything's covered up. We realize, they're trying to get the ball to their big shooters. So then we try and get back into our four-man here, but then we realize that they're not in a, certain sets, the four-man just doesn't work. So I'm trying to find somebody on the crease to guard, but right now they're actually in an open set. So I realized that I've got to get off the crease, and then now I'm communicating as I go off the crease that we're in a five-man, and we're trying to just, obviously we're in a little bit of a scramble situation. So we kind of get bounced up. I realize that my low pipe guy gets stuck to the inside, so I got to come down and help. And then a great read by our top defenseman, getting that skip lane. Because if you actually go back, Greg, just to where before McMahon, cuts it off. This is kind of the point you made of just making sure your stick's in the lane. You can see right now he's splitting two, and his eyes are on the ball carrier, just kind of reading it like a defensive back, and then he gets his stick up.
And again, that's a great job by you guys. Once the ball gets moving around and you guys have to adjust like that, it's seeing the ball, seeing your teammates, and being able to react, not being a robot in what you have to do, being able to adjust on the fly.